Hi, I'm Tulade Ademisoye, and I'm a software data engineer, and you're welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how you can use an AI agent as a startup accelerator in selecting your pool of applicants. All right. So let's say, for example, you run a startup in investment agency, right, and you invest practically every year in multiple cohorts, and you have about 1,000 to 2,000 people applying to your cohort every year. Now, how do you select the final applicant, right? I'm sure you couldn't do this manually, right? But today we're going to be talking about how we can use and integrate AI, building an AI agent around it, and reducing the number of hours it takes to read an application and selecting the final applicant. All right, so just work with me. Okay, all right. So, like I said, our aim basically is to streamline the selection process, right? We want to identify competition finalists, if it's a competition or if it's a particular cohort. We want to align which is the best startup applicant or which are the current pool of best applicants in our bucket, and so we can that way we can spot them and identify them for investment and for other recommendations, right, in the particular agency. So let's review the current selection process. Now I want to assume that most selection process will be done manually, right, by different accelerators. For example, you want to the first things first will be the elimination steps, and this can happen via manual reading, whereby a human has to read the application from start to finish. And you can imagine this is a very painstaking and time-consuming process, which is still okay, right? The next is the analyst review. Here you have someone who has perhaps more domain knowledge of the particular industry reviewing the application again, right? So this is still another time-consuming process. And the next, you want to have you might likely have like criteria, criteria for selecting a startup, and sometimes this can be subject to personal bias, right? And the next thing, or the fourth thing here is the parameters, right? There are different parameters that goes on in the selection process. So in this case, we're trying to understand what are the elements that will define our AI agent when we get to build it. All right. So pretty much the end game here is basically to see how AI solutions can help to improve selection process, and also in terms of accuracy, how we can also match accuracy to it. All right. So there are certain key things we need to watch out for while we are building this our AI agent, or while you're designing an AI agent, because this particular video is for folks who are AI engineers, folks who are software engineers, and also those who are also in industry, right? If you particularly work in the finance industry or you work in the accelerator industry, this is something to take note of, right? So one of the first things first is you want to reduce bias, right? So the AI agent will be factored in terms of how can we mitigate bias, right? So in terms of different reviewers will likely have bias. It could be nationality bias, it could be racial bias, it could be industry bias, it could be anything, right? Now the next thing right now is we want to enhance an analysis, right? Now initially we have humans reviewing it in different phases. Now we're trying to factor this in our AI as an AI and our AI model, right? We want to see how we can improve the analysis and also real-time adjustment. So, for example, you can have multiple investors within a particular application, and that way, if they and that way, what they can decide to particular parameter that they want to see, right? So this is basically real-time. That's how it's going to work, right? All right, so I want you to stay put to my video and stay and subscribe to my video as well. I'm going to be walking you through practical concepts and visual concepts, regarding how you can build your system around an AI agent for with an AI agent rather for an accelerator program. Thank you.